Sobat Narutura, halo, selamat sore di Indonesia. Welcome back to the Rainforest Fest 2021. Save Rainforest, save yourself. With me, Ale, we're going to have a very fun session, so stay tuned with us. Oke, pastinya sore ini kita masih ada banyak sekali kegiatan yang masih seru-seru, masih dari rangkaian kegiatan dari Rainforest Festival 2021. Tentunya bersama Borneo Nature Foundation. Jadi teman-teman harus tetap stay tune terus. Dan untuk teman-teman yang pengen nonton acara pada sore hari ini, waktu Indonesia ya, boleh langsung tune in di kanal YouTube di Borneo Nature Foundation. Pastikan kamu jangan lupa untuk likes dan juga jangan lupa untuk subscribe dan turn on notification ya. So for the people around there who want to join us, please join on our YouTube channel in Borneo Nature Foundation, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Also, turn on the notification. Oke, so untuk beberapa hari belakangan ini kita sudah menjalankan rangkaian dari Rainforest Festival 2021. Di hari pertama ada banyak sekali kegiatan mulai dari kuntau untuk membuka lawang skepeng kita, kemudian kita juga memiliki ada sharing session apps, dan pastinya setiap harinya akan ada giveaway. So we have giveaway every day, but it's just for Indonesian. Jadi untuk teman-teman dari Indonesia boleh sekali untuk terus bergabung bersama Borneo Nature Foundation tentunya di rangkaian Rainforest Fest 2021. Save Rainforest, save yourself. Oke, di hari ini spesial sekali. Wow, ini ada beberapa materi kita yang hari ini sudah hadir juga di sini. We have Susan Shane. Halo Susan Shane.
Hello, selamat pagi, selamat siang. Hello everyone. Dari English.
Oh, hello. Hello, it's nice to see you, Susan.
It's nice to see everyone in Indonesia. It's been an exciting 3 days of the Rainforest Festival.
Yeah, that's true. And this is the last day. I feel so sad a bit. Anyway, aside from Susan said, we have Caroline Thompson here. Halo.
Halo, selamat pagi, selamat siang.
Halo Caroline. Oke, selamat sore lebih tepatnya ya di sini. Oke, dan yang terakhir nanti kita juga memiliki ada Dwi Rian. Halo Dwi Rian.
Halo, selamat sore semua.
Halo, selamat sore Mas Dwi. Sehat ya? Oke. Oke, so everyone seems so excited and ready. So do I. Oke, so anyway, untuk teman-teman kita ingatkan sekali lagi ya, tentunya ini merupakan rangkaian juga dari kegiatan setiap tahunan yang tentunya dirayakan di seluruh dunia, yaitu Hari Hutan Hujan Sedunia atau World Rainforest Day that we celebrate for this title, Save Rainforest, Save Yourself. Jadi silakan untuk teman-teman go check the hashtag on your social media. Jadi you can see a lot of things going on in the jungle and become closer maybe with the animals there. Okay. So without further ado, let's go. We welcome to the first speaker. Please welcome Susan Shane. Time is yours.
Thank you, terima kasih. So I will give a very short introduction. Get to know the Gibbons. Jadi ya, kita bisa kenalkan sama spesies wak-wak yang ada di dunia sama yang berada di Kalimantan. So in the whole world, we have 20 species of gibbons, all in Southeast Asia. 20 species di seluruh dunia, dari China, from China to India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, 10 different countries. But in Pulau Borneo, in Kalimantan, we have 4 species. Empat species di Kalimantan. So, but in the whole of Indonesia, di seluruh Indonesia, 9 species in total. So Indonesia has the most species of gibbons of any other country. So we have a lot of work to do to protect the gibbons of Indonesia. So we will focus on one species, Hylobates albibarbus, or white-bearded gibbon. White beard. And we will focus on this species that lives in central Kalimantan, in Kalimantan Tengah. And what we do with BNF is we have different activities to think about understanding gibbons, and also then when we understand them, we can help protect them. So research is important, research for conservation. But we also understand the habitat, the forest, ancaman di hutan, what are the threats? And one big threat to peat swamp forest, hutan gambut, is fire, api. Because with fire, we lose the forest. And if we lose the forest, we also perhaps are losing gibbons and many, many other species. Orangutans, clouded leopards, red langurs, sun bears, many animals that you will actually meet a little bit later on when we talk about our book. Because these threats are a threat to the whole forest, and therefore the threats have an impact on all the animals that live there. And of course, we lose the trees as well. One of the other problems that we get with forest fire is smoke, is asap. This smoke is not healthy. It's not good for us. It makes breathing difficult. It makes seeing the animals in the forest difficult. It's a problem for animals and humans. And we do know that when the smoke is very bad, it affects gibbons' behavior. Now, gibbons are amazing because they swing through the trees, up in the top of the tree, and they sing every morning. The adult male and the adult female will sing to each other. And they do this for maybe 3 reasons. One is because they want to make a really strong bond, a really strong relationship between the adult male and adult female. It's to tell other gibbons in the forest, we are here, this is our territory, our home. And also we think it's a way of teaching the young gibbons in the group how to sing. So they learn to sing by copying mom and dad. But what we also know from our research is that the smoke affects gibbons singing. They don't sing as much, they sing for less days, and they also sing for a shorter period of time. So singing is really important for gibbon social behavior, but we know that smoke has a big effect and a negative impact on gibbon singing behavior. Again, we know this from our research, and we use lots of long-term data. We have been following the gibbons since 2005. So we really get to know individuals, we get to know the family groups, we get to know what they eat, how they use the forest, when they sing, and lots of other really exciting behavior like play behavior in young gibbons. Everybody loves to play. Humans do it, our primate cousins play too. And it's really important that we understand that. So one of the many solutions that BNF is working on is working, of course, with people. Because to make conservation happen, we need people. We need people to be involved, be supporters, but we also need to make sure that we can give people accurate, correct information about the forest and about the animals. So conservation education, or education for conservation. And that means everybody, not just kids, not just adults, it's for everyone, because it's important that we all take action to help protect our whole planet. Doesn't matter if you're in Indonesia or if you're like me at the moment in England, we all can help with our protection and conservation of the natural world. And a lot of this means, especially in the last 18 months, but even before that, BNF has been trying to be creative about how we do our conservation education. We've been trying to think of different ways that we can get people interested in the protection of the wildlife of Kalimantan and the work that we're doing. And of course, we can use things like social media, which we have used a lot, of course, over the last 18 months, but also thinking about other things that we can do to be able to pass on the message. And also, again, not just to people in Indonesia, but to get people around the world to understand and learn about the wildlife in Indonesia. It's something we are very passionate about, the conservation education. We have a lot of exceptionally good people working in our conservation education team to be able to bring you all of this exciting information. And like I said, it's real, it's using real science to create interesting content for you to engage with. So with that, I would just like to say, I hope you have had a fantastic 3 days of the Rainforest Live Festival, and thank you for joining us and watching us. We're very excited about the next innovative, exciting step that we're taking with our conservation education outreach plans. So thank you very much from me. Terima kasih banyak.
Shane. Yeah, it was so amazing. I remember when I was young. I mean, I'm still young, but I'm younger. Back in 2015, I guess there was a fire, and everyone has a problem to breathe, and it was so hard for us too. So I think it's our job to work on it to save the planet. Okay, that was the short explanation about what is Gibbon and what is Gibbon's role in the ecology from Susan Chen. Thank you, Susan. And up next, we have Dwirian as the education manager, and he will explain about environmental education to raise awareness in biodiversity conservation. Jadi nanti ada Mas Dwirian yang akan menjelaskan tentang pendidikan lingkungan untuk meningkatkan kewaspadaan dan juga kesadaran mengenai biodiversity atau konservasi. Ya, kepada Mas Dwirian kita persilahkan.
Okay, thank you very much for Mbak MC for the introduction. Also,
Yes.
Congratulations everyone for having this amazing Rainforest Day Festival, which is and we are on behalf of BNF. We are also thanks for all the people that has been joining us for almost 3 days today. And this is one of the things that we've been looking for as well in BNF to launch this very interesting apps after after we did a lot of environmental educations about gibbons specifically. So regarding to the previous explanation by Susan Chains about the environmental education, what is the effort that BNF is doing now to deliver that message of environmental education, and how we can gather everyone to work together, to do an actions together, actually to raise awareness and protect their own environment, specifically here in Central Kalimantan, Indonesia. So what are we going to do with what we've been doing until now with the environmental education, with our education team, with the BNF, that we want to really build the generations that know and care for sure about their environment, and also to enhance the awareness about the environment, about their own environment. As you see here, the Sabangon National Park, really beautiful forest in Palangkaraya in Central Kalimantan, and there's many orangutans, there are various biodiversity living inside as well in this beautiful forest in Sabangon National Park. And also we would like to use the approach of local cultures. So we want the children for not only aware about how they can protect their environment, but also how they can relate that with their own cultures. Because basically here in Central Kalimantan, when Dayak culture is really, really close with the environment as well. So about the environmental education in BNF, we do have several strategies, several programs that we are doing now to deliver this environmental educations. The first one is the conservation class, which is the formal activities one. And then the Gibbon Goes to School activity, which is this is the specific about 2 days pre-launchings related to this program, because this Gibbon Goes to School program is the program that we designed for the young generation, for the local kids to know more about the gibbons, about the threat by the fires, and then how we are as the people that can save together this gibbon, this beautiful creature in Central Kalimantan specifically. Also, we have environmental education in Mukubaru, in one of the local area in Central Kalimantan. We do have Sabango Rangers, where we promote the youth empowerment. So it's not only the kids, it's not only the little kids, but also to empower these youths, because basically they have their transitions to the mature, to the adult stages. So it's really important to have the long-term investment on this youth, local youth specifically. We do have Anak Sabango, where we give the environmental education through some various activity, through some educational games and stuff like that. And we do have connect all of the kids also with the rainforest by visiting the rainforest, and also in touch with our experienced local field in Sabango National Park. Here and why. So reconnect the children to the nature for sure, and then to raise the awareness about environment and biodiversity and hands-on and fun learning methods. This is one of the characteristics of the BNF educational team and educational activities, that we want to promote this hands-on and fun learning experience, so they have the long-term experience, they have the long-term perspective on how they can also promote and protect the nature. So this is some of the picture of biodiversity conservation awareness through field trips. So we are not only doing that indoor in the class, so we are also taking the kids actually to the forest and let them feel how the forest is. And in this case, in Central Kalimantan, we take them to the Sabango National Park, and then to see and to learn with them directly, with our local researcher there, for the certain biodiversity, certain animal as well, but the orangutans, and then about the gibbons, and see how the kids react about this, and to see how their perspective after they literally visit this kind of this forest and feel that directly, the atmosphere there in the forest. And this is so far what we are doing statistically. So basically, is only number, but what we are going to do with BNF, we want to also maintain the long-term relationship, not only to the school, but also to the children's. And if we are talking about the children's, about the local kids, we want to also maintain the relationship with the parents as well. So basically, all of these stakeholders have their own positioning on protecting this nature. So because everyone has their own role to protect this nature and this environment together. And yeah, this is it. So the little gibbon who lost his songs, which Kaz will also elaborate more about this. What's the story behind this? What happened with the gibbons? But as the opening, I would like to say that this storybook is really important as well for our educational activities, because we can really tell the story of what is happening with Gibbon back in 2015 as well, where the fires really happening in Central Kalimantan, specifically in Palangkaraya as well. And then we also met the theatrical about this book as well in our Anak Sabangau festival, where the kids play and act on the stage and perform that in front of people in Karangbangkirai Bridge, where Karangbangkirai is one of the tourism spot in Palangkaraya city, where the kids can show their expression, also to deliver that story about the book, which can inspire people and also make people think on what is really happening with the gibbons and what is the relation with the fire that is really make them lose relates to the title of the book, is who lost his the songs. And then we're really excited as well that today we finally we finally arrived to the pre-launching of this Gibbon app, where is not only a book. Now we have the app with some interactive features as well inside the apps that is not only for the people in Central Kalimantan, but it can basically access now all over the world. So people know what is the story about this gibbon, both in Bahasa Indonesia and also in English. So we can get all the kids around the world knows about this book and the inspirational story within this book. So yeah. So I guess it is a really, really good moment. It's a very good opportunity for us, BNF, and for us as a people that wants to promote this environmental awareness and environmental education to all over the world, not only Indonesia but all over the world. And I really want to say that it's not only the single person work, but environmental education is basically what we can do together, what we can do from the really smallest thing that we can do, but it has an impact to protect our nature, to protect our environments, because yeah, we can do that by ourselves, but it's going to be better that we can do that together for the biggest impact. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Mas Dwirian, barusan kalau dari Mas Dwirian ya sudah menjelaskan panjang sekali, luar biasa, sudah banyak sekali anak-anak dan juga siswa maupun guru-guru yang terlibat dalam edukasi pendidikan lingkungan ini. Tentunya kita harapkan angka ini akan terus bertambah lagi untuk meningkatkan kepedulian juga itu tidak terulang kembali ya Mas Rian. Okay, there was the explanation from Dwirian about the work from the education manager, yeah. I mean, the education work to raise awareness in biodiversity conservation. That's a lot of work, but it's our job to raise awareness, also to giving impact to the children as the young generation. Anyway, speaking about the young generation, I think it is related to the next speaker. Seperti yang kita tahu, kalau anak-anak itu suka sekali dengan dongeng. We know that children really loves storytelling. And here we have Karen Samson as the writer of Gibbon book. Okay, hello, Caroline.
Hi, it's fantastic
Okay.
to be here.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Oke, so untuk semuanya, Caroline saat ini akan menjelaskan juga mengenai Gibbon book yang tadi juga sudah pre-launch secara offline dan kali ini kita akan lakukan secara online langsung oleh penulisnya. Jadi, it's pleasure to meet you, Caroline,
It's fantastic
and
to meet
please,
you all.
time is yours.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back talking on behalf of BNF. Maaf ya, itu lama waktu saya bicara bahasa Indonesia. Jadi sekarang untuk presentasi ini saya bicara bahasa Inggris. So I'm Kaz or Carolyn, and I'm the former head primate scientist for the Borneo Nature Foundation. And part of that role was managing the long-term running of 3 primate behavioral projects, one of which happened to be on the Bornean white-bearded gibbons. So that was the first time coming to Borneo that I ever saw gibbons, and I absolutely fell in love with them. I'm now a PhD student, still studying gibbons at University College London and also with London Zoo's Institute of Zoology. And I'm still working very, very closely with Susan Chain, who happens to be one of my incredible PhD supervisors. So like gibbons, we always remain a family. I'm also the author behind the book, The Little Gibbon Who Lost His Song. And so I just wanted to spend the next 8 minutes or so talking about the concept behind the book, how we came up with it, and also building upon what Dwi Rian said about how important environmental education is. So a lot of these images I'm showing you now are all pretty much from The Little Gibbon Who Lost His Song, these beautiful illustrations, and I'll be introducing you to the illustrator a little bit later on. So just to set the scene, so how did we come up with the concept of the book, the actual story? So in 2015, we had some of the worst forest fires that we've seen since the late 1990s. And Susan's already given you a little bit of background about forest fires, but they are predominantly man-made to clear for agricultural purposes and also for monoculture crops such as palm oil. And as mentioned, they can have really severe, devastating impacts on the surrounding wildlife. So during this time, my behavioral team and I, we weren't able to go into the forest because we couldn't see the primates in the trees and we could barely breathe. So the incredible team went out to fight the forest fires. And to be honest, I was feeling a little bit helpless. And so one morning I woke up and there was this yellowish haze in the room and I couldn't really see and I was choking on the smoke. And I got thinking about gibbons and I was inspired to write a children's story to raise awareness on not just a local level in Indonesia, but also on an international level. I was really shocked that many of my friends back in England didn't know anything about forest fires and they didn't know what was going on across parts of Asia. So I felt it was a really important message that we should be sharing. So I took this idea to our communications development manager at the time, and she was so supportive. She loved it, as were the directors, and The Little Gibbon Who Lost His Song was born. So very, very briefly, the story is about a little gibbon who lives with his mum and dad in the forest in the Sabangau National Park in Borneo. And there is a forest fire nearby and the family gets separated and they can't find each other because they can't see in the smoke. And they also can't sing to locate each other, which, as Susan mentioned, is very, very important. And little Gibbon goes on this epic journey. He meets all these amazing animals in the forest on the way to try and help him find his parents. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you because you have to read the story and download the app. So there were 3 things that were so important to us when building this idea of the book and actually writing of the book. The first one is that I personally believe all children's conservation stories should be based somewhat on scientific fact. So growing up, there was a book called The Animals of Farthing Wood and some associated films as well. And for years, until I was a teenager, I strongly believed that moles, which are burrowing rodents, were about 1 meter in length, when actually they're only about as big as your hand. So that's just an example of where a book is not giving you the right facts. So we wanted to base our book on scientific fact that gibbons sing less in smoky conditions. And this is based on Susan Chain's research from 2007. The second thing that was really important for us was that we wanted to raise awareness about the biodiversity within the forest. So all the other incredible species that might not get as much funding, research, or media attention, such as sun bears, bearded pigs, the forest ants, hornbills. So primates actually act as fantastic umbrella species. And by that, I mean, if you can visualize an umbrella and the primates are at the top. So if they help raise awareness and they bring in funding, and by protecting them, you're actually protecting many of the species, such as sun bears and hornbills, that live and exist within the same space, within the same forest. So that was something that was really important for us. We wanted children to learn about the incredible diversity of the forest. And finally, the other thing that was really important was that we also wanted to highlight that environmental problems, such as forest fires, can be tackled by people. People are the solution. So like Susan mentioned earlier, most conservation problems are anthropogenic in nature, which means they involve people in some capacity. And more often than not, people are the cause of that particular issue. Therefore, it only makes sense that we should be involving people in the solution. So in the book, The Little Gibbon Who Lost His Song, we showcase some of the local heroes who are acting as amazing role models to the readers of the book, who are going out and tackling the forest fires, working all through the night to put these fires out. And the hope is that we are encouraging children to be active in protecting their own environment. What's amazing about this book is that it wasn't just my project. It's a great example of an organization coming together and every single member of a team actually contributing towards it. So although I wrote the initial story, we had Vera, who was doing all the meticulous translations. So she had to ensure everything made sense from English to Indonesian and Indonesian back to English. We also had Rebecca, who is the incredible artist behind all those beautiful illustrations that I've been sharing. She was the orangutan scientist at the time, so her job was to do behavioral work on orangutans in the forest, and then she was drawing in the evenings when she came back from the forest. And we also had an incredible editorial team. So we had Susie, Joanna, and Rietma, who were spending hours designing the book and meticulously going through every word and every phrase to ensure everything looked really good and made sense. And finally, when we had the book to a certain level, we were happy with the draft, we actually gave it to the wider team and asked them to take it home to their families so that they could read it to their children and also provide feedback from a family perspective. And also children are our target audience, so we really wanted to see what the children thought of the book. Will they actually learn anything from this book? Obviously, the book wanted to be an effective conservation tool. So like I said, it was a fantastic project in terms of this brilliant team effort. And just finally, so why is environmental education in the form of children books so important? And Dwi Rian already has mentioned some of this. But like he said, so engaging children with nature from an early age actually builds a really strong relationship with their environment. And this is proven in many scientific studies that children who are immersed in nature therefore have this stronger relationship, stronger passion to protect their environment. Ultimately, learning about nature encourages a sense of pride. So, for example, pride of the animals and the diversity that exists on their doorstep, and all these, all these beautiful different plant species and animal species that exist in the Sabanga National Park, and also pride in actions that they might be taking to tackle some of these conservation issues. And ultimately, it's equipping children and parents with tools and knowledge to protect the environment. So ultimately, the book has had a very, very positive impact, but not just on a local scale, as we've seen. So the interactive storytelling that coincides with the book has reached more than 60 local schools and organizations, and more than 3,000 children have participated. But it's also reached an international audience as well. So on the top right image is me presenting on International Gibbon Day on the 24th of October. And this is in the Grant Museum of Zoology, one of University College London's main museums, gets many, many tourists every year. Here I am presenting the book. And at the same time, we sell copies of the book, and we have loads of people come up and ask us about forest fires. So we're still measuring kind of this, evaluating this impact. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih kembali. Okay, thank you, Carolyn Thompson. That was Carolyn Thompson, who also a writer of Gibbon's story, The Little Gibbons Who Lost His Song. That is the title. Oke, jadi ini untuk teman-teman juga yang mungkin sudah download aplikasinya atau sedang tertarik untuk download aplikasinya. Jadi buku ini sudah rilis, dan tentunya seperti kata Carolyn Thompson tadi, don't spoil the ending. I've got to read that a few days before, and I got tearing a lot. I feel so sad for the little Gibbons. Anyway, don't spoil the ending. Okay, I really excited to see the numbers. There's 1,000 children that has read and knows about the story, and I hope to see more in the future. Thank you, Carolyn Thompson.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next we have Dwi Rian. Selanjutnya kita punya Mas Dwi Rian. Ini untuk secara lebih jelasnya, secara teknis ya, untuk menjelaskan mengenai aplikasi ini, mungkin dengan siapa saja kerjasamanya, kemudian bagaimana mungkin cara mendownloadnya. Jadi akan dijelaskan secara lebih jauh oleh Mas Dwi Rian. So, Dwi Rian will also explain how to get the apps and how to download the apps. Also maybe about the partnership and all the stuff. So please welcome Mas Dwi Rian.
All right, so thank you very much. So I'm going to share a little bit about the apps, and then how, wrong presentation, sorry. About the apps and how can we use the apps as well. So a little bit introduction basically about the apps. Sorry. Okay. Allow me to share screen. Okay. So here is again about the pre-launching of the Gibbon apps. So thank you, Cass. Thank you, Susan, for the previous explanation about this as well. So basically, we made this initiative with our previous staff, Jessica, that's now living in the UK. And she was the coordinator of the Gibbon Goes to School back then. And then just before the pandemic, to be honest, just before the pandemic hit the world. So we thought at that time that how can we transform, how can we make an improvement of this amazing book of the little Gibbon that lost his song, and make people at that time, the idea is how to make people at least around Indonesia knows about this. So we know that the book is not all over Indonesia yet. So we think that to make something in digital, and at that time we thought that probably the video, and then we got someone as well from UK that then turned this idea into beyond that. So it's beyond the video, beyond not only the videography, but basically he suggested to make the applications which we didn't think before, to make such a very great application from this amazing book, and then spread the inspirational world, inspirational message all over the world. So yeah, we proudly say and thank you very much as well for the Gemis software as the creator, as the developer of this application, also our main collaborator for making this real, as well as thank you very much for Borneo Production Internationals as well, which really helped us to record our voice, to also make the sounds just really interest. And when we hear the sound in this application, we really can feel that someone really tells a story to us. So this is very interesting application, and I really encourage you guys to now download it, because it's already in the Google Play Store. And then yeah, and Borneo BPI, Borneo Production International, make this with the creation of the sounds, also the amazing recording atmosphere as well during the record stages of these applications. So if you have already downloaded the application through Google Play Store, so you can open the applications, and then you're going to see this. So this is the beginning page of the applications, where you can choose the language. So this is really helpful as well. So it's not only in English, but it's not only in Bahasa Indonesia, but also available in English. So basically it can be accessed by all of the people all around the world. And then, so if you see the button here in like a play button, so you can click on that. So basically here is the version of the Indonesian application, a story. So by clicking on this, you're going to hear the beautiful voice of our narrator that telling your story. So basically you can directly read that, but also you have another option to really hear someone tell a story about this. So it's literally what we are doing with our Gibbon Goes to School offline, where we have our narrator that give a story and tell a story directly to the local kids about this. Yeah. And then there's also the fun fact as well. So back to what Cass explanations before. So it's not only about the breed apps that has many attentions, such as orangutans about in this book, but there is also the pig as well, and then the gibbon as the main actor, the hornbill as well. And in this application, you can also check on their fun fact. So for example, like here, it's in Bahasa Indonesia, like babi hutan memakan berbagai macam makanan. So what's kind of foods, and that this animal actually eat every day in the forest, and then what's their specific particular behavior, like the uniqueness of this kind of animals as well. So basically, it's not only about the gibbon knowledge. So you're not going to only have knowledge or adding knowledge about the gibbon, but also about the other animals within the story, within the book, within the application, which are the pigs, the hornbill, the ants, even the ants as well. So you can click on this button. Yeah, and at the end of the applications, there is a get in touch button, and then you can rate us as well in the Google Play Store, and then you're actually telling your friends to also to share this application, because it's a free application. So you can download this application to your phone, and by download in your phone, you can not only enjoying by listening to the story, but actually you can also giving the story as well to your little niece, little nephew, or your little children as well, to know more about Borneo and about the amazing biodiversity. And one of them is the Gibbon in Central Kalimantan. And there's also credits. So basically it's all of the, you're going to see the name of the people that is participated in this kind of process of developing these applications. So Jessica Ririhatwela is the one that I mentioned before, that is one of the initiator of this amazing applications. And we have some of the people below Jessica's name that is actually the persons behind the voice. So you're going to hear the voice of the pig, the voice of the sunbear, the voice of the hornbill, that literally really fun. And we got a very amazing experience during our recording moments as well. So yeah, so thank you very much for all the people that's already support us to making this real, and here the Gibbon application for you guys, for all the people around the world, that you can enjoy the story not only by the book, but you can also now have the application in your smartphone. Thank you very much.
Rian with the explanation about the apps, and it was very clear. Now you guys can download it on the Google Play. Jadi silakan untuk teman-teman yang sudah mendownload itu boleh sekali untuk memberikan atau memberi komentar itu lewat YouTube, bagaimana sih mungkin reviewnya atau bagaimana pengalaman kalian ketika sudah mendownload aplikasi ini. Siapa tahu ini juga menjadi feedback untuk orang-orang, dan siapa tahu juga ini people are today. We want to see all the impression, all the review. Maybe we can get the feedback from the user of the app. So please leave your comment through YouTube comment. It is important for the crew, for the team around this app, so they can develop more a story maybe in the future, right? Okay. Terima kasih Mas Dwirian, penjelasannya luar biasa. Fun fact-nya juga, saya juga sudah download itu. Menarik sekali, dan sepertinya pastinya kita akan sharing juga untuk anak-anak di sekitar kita ya, supaya bisa lebih mengenal lagi tentang binatang-binatang yang memang endemik di Kalimantan Tengah. Oke, baik. Selanjutnya kita akan dengar, ini adalah video, ada beberapa video testimoni dari beberapa partnership atau collaborators yang juga bergabung selama pembuatan Gibbon storybook ini. Ya, storybook apps. Okay, so right now we have a video testimony from the collaborators. The first one is testimonial from Sir David Attenborough. Okay, so please, this is the video of
There are many conservation charities in the world helping to look after in Indonesia, and it's printed in both English and Bahasa Indonesian. It's hoped that its sale will raise funds, all of which will go to working to restore these damaged areas in Indonesia. I do hope you'll support it.
tadi kita sudah sama-sama simak ada video testimoni dari Sir David Attenborough yang tentunya juga mendukung Borneo Nature Foundation dalam meningkatkan kesadaran akan satwa liar di dunia melalui buku cerita owa kecil yang kehilangan induknya. Tentunya di mana buku ini dicetak dalam 2 bahasa, yaitu bahasa Inggris dan juga bahasa Indonesia. Dan tentunya hasil dari penjualan buku ini semuanya akan digunakan untuk memulihkan area-area yang rusak di Indonesia, dan beliau juga berharap kita semua dapat mendukung kegiatan ini. Nah, Sir David Attenborough ini juga merupakan narator dari beberapa film yang terkait dengan lingkungan, dan beliau juga aktif dalam awareness atau meningkatkan kesadaran tentang isu-isu lingkungan ya. Baik. Demikian tadi Sir David Attenborough, dan selanjutnya kita punya salah satu yang terlibat juga dalam pembuatan Gibbon Storybook App ini, yaitu dari James Software yang terlibat dalam pembuatan aplikasinya.
Hi, my name is James from James Software, and I'm the developer behind the Little Gibbon Storybook app. The idea for the app came about as I was travelling around Indonesia and happened to meet up with the education team at BNF. They told me all about the good work they do and how they use education as a way to tackle deforestation and to help prevent forest fires. One of the tools they use is the book The Little Gibbon Who Lost His Song by Caroline Thompson. This book tells the story of a little gibbon who gets separated from his family due to a forest fire, and of all the forest animals he meets along the way in his quest to get back to his family. It's a great book and a great way to engage with children about the topic of forest fires, whilst also educating them about the animals who live in the forest. However, we felt that they could be reaching and educating an even larger audience if the book was available digitally. A digital platform for the story would allow us to create a more interactive environment and give us the ability to provide more in-depth information about the forest and its animals. And so, the Little Gibbon Storybook app was born. The education team provided the voice for the animals in the forest and the narration in both English and in Indonesian. This narration was then linked to the book's text to allow the reader to easily follow along with the story. The illustrations, created by Rebecca Armisen, were then digitally layered to ensure they would fit all screen sizes and to create some more depth and interaction. Each page was then either given a real recording of the animal in the wild or a list of facts about the animal. The app is available for download now from the Play Store, so please check it out and let us know what you think.
Okay, that was from James Software, who also behind the app. Oke, di video barusan salah satunya ada James, pembuat aplikasi buku cerita digital, yang menyatakan bahwa ide awal pembuatan aplikasi ini adalah ketika dia bertemu dengan tim edukasi BNF ketika berkunjung ke Indonesia. Jadi dia mendengarkan apa yang dilakukan oleh tim edukasi untuk mencegah deforestasi melalui edukasi, di mana salah satu buku ini sangat menarik karena menjelaskan tentang kebakaran hutan, juga mengedukasi tentang hewan-hewan yang tinggal di dalam hutan. Sehingga dari situ tim edukasi dan juga tentunya James ini menyadari kalau buku ini dirilis secara digital, maka akan dapat mengedukasi lebih banyak orang lagi. Selain itu, cerita di buku ini juga dibuat lebih interaktif dengan informasi yang lebih lengkap tentang hutan dan hewan di dalamnya, dengan berbagai ilustrasi yang tentunya menarik. Okay. Thank you for Jen. It was very cool. Okay, anyway, so we're moving on. Sekarang kita punya rupanya ada testimoni dari Borneo Production International or BPI. We have a video testimony from Borneo Production International. So please.
Hello. As a film production company based in Borneo for more than a decade now, we've worked on many environmental films that all serve to help educate and inspire people about the environment. For us, it was a very easy decision to want to support BNF in the production of this app. So we provided the recording facilities and some other technical support. We hope that this project will really inspire, especially younger people, to remember to care for nature and to protect the forest and all the life that lives in it for today and for the future. Enjoy Rainforest Fest 2021. Save rainforest. Save yourself.
Okay, that was a very cool remarks ya. Save Rainforest, Save Yourself barusan dari Borneo Production International juga memberikan testimoninya, dan selesai juga dari 3 testimoni orang-orang yang sudah melihat terlebih dahulu, juga mungkin beberapa di antaranya terlibat dalam produksi pembuatan Gibbon Story Book App ini. Jadi teman-teman silahkan bisa download sekarang juga di Google Play Store, dan silahkan untuk berikan review apa mungkin kamu terhadap buku ini. Mungkin ada kesulitan atau mungkin ada sesuatu yang ingin kalian tambahkan di YouTube conversation. Jadi itu akan memberi feedback juga untuk tim produksi dan orang-orang di belakangnya, supaya nanti akan menjadi aplikasi yang lebih baik lagi. Dan sekarang, thank you for all the panelists. Thank you for Susan Sain, Dwi Rian, and Caroline Thompson for your time. It was a very amazing afternoon here to have you here. And I also hope you to enjoy this time.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih. The app looks amazing.
Terima kasih kembali.
Ya, terima kasih semua tim BNF.
Okay,
terima kasih Kaz. Terima kasih untuk festival ini, dan ya silakan langsung download aja.
Okay, thank you Susan. Susan promote it better than me. Langsung download sekarang juga ya di Google Store kamu. Oke, terima kasih untuk semuanya, all the panelists. It's nice to see you here. See you next time. Iya, tentunya kita masih belum selesai.
Thank you Susan, thank you Cass.
Oke, tentunya kita masih belum selesai. It's not over till it's over. Actually, we still have time untuk para teman-teman yang sudah download. Now, please leave the comment section. Maybe the question or maybe your impression, because one lucky participant will get this cool teaser official merchandise from Borneo Nature Foundation. Look at this. This is my favorite color, black, and also it has move on like a gibbon. Oh, the man who can be moved. Whose idea is this? And also, look at this, Caroline Thompson. This is the little gibbon.
That is amazing. I want one.
You want to have this, right? Move on.
Definitely.
Like a gibbon. Move on like a gibbon. It's cool. Okay, so one lucky participant will get this. And we are now live on YouTube. Please just subscribe on Borneo Nature Foundation. Silakan kalau ada yang mau tanya dalam bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris, semuanya bisa. Jadi boleh, silakan teman-teman yang ingin memberikan pertanyaannya, silakan mungkin memberikan impression karena sudah download aplikasinya, dan tentunya bisa share juga ke teman-temannya atau review aplikasi ini ke BNF. Dan untuk informasi, boleh juga ya tanya-tanyanya via komen YouTube saat ini juga ya. Ya, atau boleh di Q&A. Saat ini mungkin yang ada di join ya di sini ya, di Zoom ini juga boleh kasih pertanyaan. Jadi bukan hanya yang ada di YouTube saja, tapi juga yang saat ini join langsung di Zoom-nya. Jadi silahkan. Sudah mendownload aplikasi ini supaya nanti maybe Carlin atau Susan Shane wanna make the other story.
I have downloaded the app. I think it's brilliant. I'm sharing it with everybody. And I think it's also not just for adults. You know, there's fun facts about the animals. You get to, it's interactive. You can listen to the songs. So yes. And yeah, please, once you've downloaded it as well, share it with your friends and family so everyone can experience and learn about the rainforest.
Yeah, I did. Okay, so anyway, saat ini kita sudah punya, sorry ya, baik yang mana nih? So now they inform that we have one lucky participant. Well, lucky enough to get this feature. Oh, spin wheel. Oke, dari Johannes Prahara. Oke, ini dia bilang mau tanya sama Ibu Susan, apakah Owa dan si Amang. So there is Johannes is asking about to Bu Susan. Is Owa and si Amang comes from different species? Is it? Please, Susan.
Good question. Yes, I should have mentioned that. So yes, so like I said, there are 20 species of gibbon, but the siamang is one of those. So technically, scientifically, we have 19 species we call gibbons and one siamang. And the siamang does live in Indonesia. And I think there's also a question in the chat or in the Q&A.
Yes, please.
So yeah, exciting to download the app. Can't wait to show it to my children. If you want a book, where do you buy it from? So where is it available in Indonesia? Do you contact the BNF office, BNF team? How do you get the book in Indonesia?
Okay, from Bumi.
Yes.
Kalau mau bukunya bagaimana? Oh, okay, maybe she or he wants to get the hard copy. Yeah. Okay, please Mas Rian. Mas Rian mungkin boleh dijawab.
Yeah, if there
Jadi
is
bagaimana
cafe.
cara untuk mendapatkan bukunya?
Oke.
Yeah.
Oke, kalau ada Kavera lebih capable itu. Jadi sebenarnya kalau di Palangkaraya, Ibu siapa tadi namanya ya? Ibu Bumi. Nah itu nanti either bisa ke tempatnya kita juga, Jalan Bukit Raya, atau bisa kalau misalnya jauh mungkin bisa kontak juga, karena kita bisa di Instagram, bisa via social media atau via website juga ya, gitu. Kalau di situ ada Kavera, mungkin boleh tambahin Kavera.
Oke, tadi diserahkan kepada Mas Rian rupanya ya pertanyaannya. Jadi pokoknya saya langsung oper ke Mas Rian. Jadi untuk Bapak atau Ibu Bumi nanti mungkin boleh menghubungi atau langsung aja follow Instagram BNF di borneo.nature. Itu boleh langsung DM saja untuk mengetahui mungkin informasi cara untuk mendapatkan bukunya. Jadi bisa keep in touch juga di situ. Okay, next. Okay, from Abdul. Apakah Caroline Samson akan membuat cerita lain lagi? Terima kasih. After The Little Gibbons, will Caroline Thompson write another book maybe?
Well, this is a great question. I would
Yes.
absolutely love to. I had a couple of ideas for some other stories for BNF to do with orangutan nesting behavior. Orangutans make these incredible platforms to sleep in by bending all the branches. We write about it in The Little Gibbon Who Lost His Song. So I think it would be quite good to talk about that type of nesting behavior. And also we know that orangutans self-medicate. So they find vegetation and certain plants in the forest. I think it's called commelina, but maybe I've forgotten exactly what the plant species called. And they rub it into a wound if they've been in a fight with another orangutan or if they've just been injured in the forest. So I would love to write a story about something to do with that, some of these behaviors that many people don't know about when it comes to orangutans. So watch this space, you never know.
Sure, many people are so excited because we already have a pre-launching offline. Many people around us very excited and download on the spot the apps, and it said that they really want to recommend it to the children because we also meet teachers from a few schools in Palangkaraya during pre-launching offline. So it seems like they are so excited to give a Little Gibbon's name. What about Gigi from Gibbon? Yeah, because I feel like it will be a great mascot, and also being the inspiration for another story, maybe another what is that? Alternate universe where they live in peace and something. It will be okay. Also, now we have still loading. Yang paling bawah yang Aloysius Germia, yang di atas ya. Oke, di sini Bu Susan, oa dan orang utan sama-sama disebut tukang kebun, tapi orang utan lebih populer dan disebut spesies payung. Apakah manfaat dari Aloysius Germia? Okay, it say oa and orang utan as a gardener in the jungle, but orang utan is way more popular than oa. And why is it like that?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, from an ecosystem point of view, they are like gardeners of the forest. They eat the fruit, they disperse the seeds. This helps trees grow, helps reforestation, natural reforestation. But gibbons are one of 5, well, I suppose 6 apes, including humans. We have the gorilla, the chimpanzee, and the bonobo in Africa, and the orangutan and the gibbon in Asia. But when we started scientifically studying the apes, they were classified as big apes or great apes and little apes, the gibbons. And so scientifically, the orangutan, the bonobo, the chimpanzee, and the gorilla have been thought to be better examples to understand human evolution, and the gibbons maybe not so much. So from that point of view, they've received more scientific attention. And also, gibbons live in quite difficult areas to get to. They're much more widespread. They occur in 10 countries. Orangutans only occur in 2, Indonesia and Malaysia. So there has been more scientific research and also conservation attention on orangutans compared to gibbons. We're still also learning actually about all primates. 20 years ago, when I started my PhD, we recognized that there were 12 species of gibbons. We now recognize 20. So we're still learning about where they live. They can live in some very, very inaccessible places. Big high mountains, limestone karst in Vietnam, places that make it really difficult to get to and really difficult to study. So I think with a better understanding of gibbons, we are learning more about them. We're learning what we need to do to protect them. But yes, historically in the past, orangutans have received more attention. But with things like the Little Gibbon book and the app, and everybody joining today and learning about gibbons, then we can make sure that gibbons receive the same conservation attention that they need. But that's a really great question. Thank you.
Oke, baik. Barusan sudah dijawab oleh Ibu Susan ya untuk tadi Aloysius. Jadi memang secara sejarah beliau mengatakan bahwa kita lebih dulu mengenal orang utan karena memang sifatnya dari gibbon ini adalah sangat pemalu, sehingga pada saat itu untuk source-nya atau sumber mengenai gibbon dan hal-hal lainnya itu sangat sedikit, dan akhirnya harus dilakukan penelitian lebih jauh lagi untuk mengenal gibbon. Tapi tentu sama-sama mereka memiliki fungsi dan juga peran yang sangat penting di ekosistem hutan tentunya. Oke, semoga terjawab untuk Aloysius tadi. Baik, selanjutnya ini juga di Q&A ada Bumi. There's a Bumi in the Q&A section. Mau usul, next semoga akan ada program jalan-jalan virtual. Melihat gibbon secara langsung lumayan buat mengisi waktu liburan anak-anak, pasti menyenangkan buat anak-anak juga. Oh, nice idea. Online traveling atau online hiking. Maybe teams around here get ready. But I don't know about the internet connection though. Untuk usul di Q&A ini, Mas Rian maybe wants to answer or maybe react to the question. Not the question, maybe just a suggestion.
Oke, terima kasih.
Gimana Mas Rian?
Terima kasih Ibu atas sarannya, bagus sekali, karena memang bagaimanapun kita sekarang harus menyesuaikan ya. Artinya menyesuaikan dengan keadaan sekarang, banyak yang virtual juga. We never know when this pandemic ends. Semoga aja segera berakhir, jadi kita bisa back to normal life. Tapi ya terima kasih sekali, karena memang dari BNF pun kita memang sedang mengupayakan dan sedang dalam usaha juga untuk membuat beberapa konten-konten interaktif yang virtual gitu. Misalnya saja kemarin kita sempat juga membuat konten wisata, jadi mengunjungi Taman Nasional Sebangau di salah satu resortnya namanya Sungai Koran, dan itu memang kita buat video yang sangat interaktif sekali. Jadi ketika kita nonton itu, kita berasa kita sedang melaksanakan wisata juga, walaupun itu secara digital gitu. Dan tidak menutup kemungkinan kita juga bisa membuat konten-konten yang berhubungan dengan animal, dengan binatang, dan mungkin terkait juga dengan riset-riset kita yang ada di BNF yang bekerja sama dengan Taman Nasional Sebangau. Mungkin itu. Terima kasih sekali lagi masukannya Ibu, sangat mantap.
Oke. Baik, itu tadi jawaban atau tanggapan ya dari Mas Rian sebagai Education Manager. Baik, selanjutnya up next we have the question, is it all from Ina? It's all the character is all of the characters animal in the book are endangered animal. Why they are endangered? Thank you. From Ina. Thank you, Ina. Okay. Maybe it's for Susan, yeah? Yeah, for Susan to answer the question. Yeah, about the animal that happen to appears in the Gibbon book. Are they are in danger?
Thank you. Another good question. The simple answer is yes. The slightly more complicated answer is they're endangered at different levels. And we use something called the IUCN Red List of threatened species to determine whether or not the level of threat that an animal is at. So most of the species in the book are at one of the three IUCN categories of either vulnerable, like the sun bear, or endangered, like the gibbon, or critically endangered, like the orangutan. And there are lots of different reasons, not just forest fire and loss of habitat, like we've spoken, hunting. Also, when the habitat becomes fragmented, perhaps because of roads or fire, or because a plantation is created, and then the area the animals have to live in becomes much smaller, and that makes it more difficult for them to find food. Also, of course, a problem of losing habitat, not just a fire, but then there's illegal logging. So unfortunately, there's lots of different problems that can mean that an animal population, so the number of animals, becomes small. And that's when we start to have these threatened categories of the IUCN Red List. It also is based on how much habitat is available. So this is why it's really important to try and understand the population numbers of all of these different species and how much forest is available for them to live in across their whole range. And we can use these scientific data to determine the threatened category. And it also means that, again, the more we understand about the threats, like Kaz and Rian have said, then we can get people involved in finding solutions. But if you want to have a look, you can Google the IUCN Red List, and you can search. It's free. You can search if any of the species in the Red List that are in the book, and you can learn more about how endangered they are. But great question. Thank you.
Anyway, back to YouTube channel. We have few people joining us. Ada Abdur Rasta, Ausius, Jonas Gatot, dan juga di sini the same question. Maybe I want to read from Desi Natalia. Katanya dia sudah download aplikasinya dan keren banget. Story-nya bagus untuk toddler dan membantu untuk menjelaskan kalau owa dan orangutan itu berbeda dari monyet. So it's really help Desi Natalia to explain to the toddler about the difference from owa, orangutan, and monyet. Okay. And next we have some question from Abdur Rasta and Hairunisa 25. It said that they really want to know when Caroline will release another story. Jadi untuk Mbak Caroline Samson, berapa lama, how long is the process from making OA book? Then, and is there any kendala? Yeah, is there any problem during the process? Is it coming from Abdur Rasta?
That's a really great question. So to actually write the story, it only took me about 2 hours because it was all just in my head and it was a very rough draft. But actually the whole process of the book, and like I mentioned in my talk, was quite a lengthy process because we had to go through several drafts. We had several members of the editorial team going through and scrutinizing every word and every detail. We had to translate the book. We then had to design the book and make it look good. We had to draw the illustrations. And then when you've done all that, you've got to find a publisher's and a printer's. And that was quite a difficult process because we decided to initially self-print the book. So we just sent it off to a printer's and we had to get a copy back to see what it looked like. Or we could have gone down the route of finding a publishing house to publish it. But that was extremely difficult. It's very hard to find a publisher because also they take a percentage of the profits of the book. And that was something we really didn't want to happen. We wanted all the proceeds, all the money gained from the book to go back into conservation education and back into conservation efforts.
Oke, baik. Barusan dari Caroline ya, kaitannya menjawab sangat ingin sekali, cuman mungkin memang sulit sekali untuk mencari publisher yang mau untuk merilis buku seperti ini. Dan kita harapkan semoga memang akan semakin banyak lagi penerbit-penerbit yang semakin aware dan tentunya peduli terhadap lingkungan dan bisa melihat ini salah satunya bisa membangkitkan kembali minat baca anak-anak ya. Baik, anyway, we have a very good news. So exciting ya to announce that the book is also for sale in Ganesha Book Shop in Ubud, Bali. So the Little Gibbon is also for sale in Ganesha Bookshop in Ubud, Bali. So for the people around there, please come to Ganesha Bookshop. Kita punya di Swiss Bell Hotel Palangkaraya. Jadi teman-teman bisa mendapatkan buku itu di Swiss Bell Hotel Palangkaraya, bisa didapatkan. The Little Gibbons di situ sudah terjual juga. Jadi ada dua tempat di mana The Little Gibbons ini dijual, yaitu di Ganesha Bookshop di Ubud, Bali, atau juga di Swiss Bell Hotel Palangkaraya. Jadi silakan teman-teman bisa mendapatkannya. So easy ya. Jadi baik yang buku offline atau juga online-nya. Kalau online tentu saja download the apps ya through the Google Store. Nah, kalau untuk offline booknya boleh teman-teman dapatkan sekali lagi di Ganesha Bookshop di Ubud, Bali atau juga di Swiss Bell Hotel Palangkaraya. Oke. Untuk online boleh teman-teman dapatkan di Amazon. So, the Little Gibbon is also available in international shipping in Amazon. So, please come and check out in Amazon. Okay, so anyway, we start for the next session is to announce the lucky participant. Yeah, we will see who is the lucky participant will get these Little Gibbons. Okay, this is the spin wheel. Okay. Rolling. And now I say stop. Abdul Rasta, congratulations, Abdul Rasta. Okay, Abdul Rasta, congratulations, you got this cool t-shirt. I want to get this one. It said move on like a gibbon. Please, young generation, moving on. Anyway, please for Abdul Rasta, DM us your address, so we will send it through your address. Please send through the app. Okay, so congratulations once again for Abdul Rasta, and also I would like to thanks a lot. It was amazing afternoon to meet you guys. What an inspiration session. And I would like to meet you guys again next time. Oke. Dan tentunya teman-teman saat ini saya juga punya di sini ada sponsor kita, ada Eger Palangkaraya. Thank you Eger Palangkaraya. It's from official shop ya. Official outlet in Eger. Jadi untuk teman-teman yang hobi sekali untuk memiliki alat-alat dan juga barang-barang outdoornya untuk melengkapi koleksi outdoornya, mungkin suka untuk melakukan aktivitas di luar, boleh banget untuk mendapatkan ini. Nanti di jam 7 malam ya, kita akan ada live quiz. Jadi silakan untuk simak terus karena Rainforest Fest 2021 masih berlangsung sampai nanti malam. This is the last day anyway, and also we have the biggest prize. Jadi anyway, thank you for Eiger Palangkaraya. Jangan lupa untuk follow eiger.palangkaraya di Instagram. Follow mereka untuk update koleksi-koleksi terbaru tentunya. Okay, so anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for all the participants. Jadi senang sekali hari ini saya bisa bergabung bersama teman-teman. Thank you sekali lagi untuk semua panelis kita juga. Tepuk tangan dulu untuk semuanya. From Indonesia, all around the world, Susan Shane, Karen Samson, Mas Dwi Rian. Don't forget to follow Borneo Nature Foundation in Instagram at borneo.nature. Once again, borneo.nature. Sekali lagi, terima kasih. Selamat sore. Saya Alia Sufita, Bunda Syah pamit. Kita ketemu lagi di jam 7 nanti malam.